Hi everyone. I just wanted to tell you about one of my most improved students who picked up a shocking 48 yards in just over 6 weeks. Meet Murf. He's 74 years old. All he wanted to do was just be able to go out and play golf with his buddies without feeling foolish. In his words, he said, "I just want to feel like I have a golf swing." Right after this, I'm going to show you exactly what he did step by step that helped him pick up nearly 50 yards off the tee with his driver. So stay tuned. So Murf's best driving attempt before instruction started was only 166 yards, and not only that, but he had a really terrific slice as well. So often he was ending up deep in the trees to the right. I've posted some of his TrackMan numbers. You can see he was extremely outside in and downwards with his angle of attack and could only muster around 67 miles per hour of clubhead speed. Just a huge recipe for hitting the ball short and crooked. But definitely watch all the way through to the end so you can see his updated stats from TrackMan. They are unbelievable. All right, so let's get into what we worked on. First, we worked on a little bit in the setup, and what I want you to see here is how square his shoulders and hips are to his feet, where when we started he was much more over the top in his setup, so his hips and shoulders were pointing off to the left and his right shoulder was a little bit higher than the left, and that is a sure recipe for coming over the top and slicing the ball. Now, we knew his drives were going much too low, so the next thing we did was we moved the ball position way up to his big toe of his front foot, where he had been playing the ball off with his driver more in the middle of his stance, and that was helping create the big downwards angle of attack. And it definitely improved things, but we certainly weren't getting the loft we needed. Now, Murf was also really ill-fitted with his equipment. He was swinging a driver that was only 9 degrees, and for someone who's only swinging in the mid-60s range in miles per hour, 9 degrees is just simply not enough loft, even close, to get the ball airborne to get a nice distance efficiency ratio. And I know a lot of you out there are kind of in the same boat. You really need to get some more loft as you get older, because you're losing distance. You might be gaining some extra roll, but you're losing double that in the air. So it ends up being a net loss. So we went online, we did a little bit of driver shopping, and Murf found one that he really liked. It was a 12-degree Cobra, and in this video we actually cranked it up 2 more degrees. So in this video he's got the driver set at 14 degrees, and that is a much better fit. He started hitting the ball with a lot more loft between the new ball position and the driver loft. Now, Murf was pretty much doing everything in his swing you could do to hit the ball short. When he swung through the ball, he would fall back onto his back foot, and I want to show you in this video, we worked a long time on this, on his balance especially. As golfers get older, and you know, Murf is getting into his mid-70s, we start to lose a little bit of security in our balance, and so it took us a long time to work on getting over and standing in balance on the left foot. So watch this. All we worked on at first was, let's get the right foot off the ground. We're going to stand on the left foot in balance, and we're going to face the target at the end of the swing with the club wrapped around and touching the neck. Now, this was something he could barely do even without a golf ball. Even at 10 miles an hour, as slow as he could swing, I had to kind of rush over and hold him up so he wouldn't fall over, because his balance was quite precarious. But he worked on it, and he worked on it very diligently, and as the lessons progressed, he could start standing in balance with greater and greater effort. So once we got off the back foot reverse pivot kind of thing, the next thing to do was to start getting the swing plane a little more shallow and from the inside. So I'm going to draw a line here going up, let's say through the base of the neck like this. Now, Murf was definitely breaking this rule. He was coming in very much above that red line you see on the screen. He would loop it way over the top and come in very vertical and steep. And now you can see he's starting to sneak it underneath a little bit. Now, we could still use a little bit more shallowing and a little more inside out to the swing plane, but this was actually a slightly inside out swing plane and an upstrike of nearly 6 degrees. You can see he's got in a pretty good spot in the slot now, and he's definitely much more underneath the red line, so he's enables him to attack the ball a little more from the inside and upwards, and that's what you're seeing here. Now, you might have noticed this is a pretty good wind-up for someone in their mid-70s, isn't it? That's a solid 3/4 position and a good full finish, wrapping it around the neck almost a perpendicular. That's a really long swing for someone a little bit older, but that is not at all where we started. So another one of the things we worked on was lengthening out both ends of the swing. We did a lot of that using the orange whip trainer. I'm going to show you where Murf went when we started this project. I'd say Murf's swing stopped right about there. Imagine what kind of progress he made. He went up about 10 miles per hour. The swing you're going to see, I'll play this swing again in full motion in a second, but you can see what a difference in how much longer that handle path is getting, how much more he's cocking his wrists. And I'll show you where he would finish his swing. He would finish his swing right about here. So he didn't have a lot of time to decelerate the club, so he never really could accelerate it to a very high rate of speed because of this short finish. It was very cut off. It was up against his chest, so he'd really cut off the arc. And now look at him. He's throwing it over his shoulder a lot wider and coming in against the base of his neck. Now, once we had been able to do a few things, we made little minor adjustments to the tee height. So now that he was coming and hitting up on the ball, he could start raising the tee up to support that. Now, if you raise the tee up and you're still hitting down and across on the ball, there's a good chance that you're going to hit a sky ball or hit it off the crown and pop it up straight up and down. Progressively, as he got better with his angle of attack, we started raising the tee higher and higher, and where you see it now is at about 3/4 of a ball above the crown of the club, and so that's a pretty good standard tee height. All right, so when Murf came to me and he just said, hey, I just want to be able to hit it out there a little farther and straighter, you know, I told him I think I could get him over 200 yards, and he just kind of laughed at me. He said, there's no way I'm ever going to hit a ball 200 yards. That's impossible. It's from your lips to God's ears. But by God, check out the TrackMan numbers on this swing. Unbelievable. Look at the launch. He's at nearly 19 degrees of launch angle now. He's up 10 miles an hour of clubhead speed. He's coming from the inside with this swing plane, hitting up on the ball, and actually hits a draw here right down the middle of the fairway. 214 yards. Wow, amazing. Nearly 50 yards of distance increase. No more slicing. The slice is gone, and he can't wait to get down to Phoenix to play with one of his golf buddies, because his buddy gives him 2 shots a hole and they play for money. So I can't wait to see how much Murf wins in the coming weeks off of his buddies. Hey, I hope you'll leave an encouraging comment down for Murf in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope there's some more distance out there for you too. I'm Steve, and if I don't see you in the next video, I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.